Welcome back to Exploring Whiskeys. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Kevin. Today we are wrapping up our OH Ingram run.
This is the original. We did.
We did it totally backwards.
Out of order.
We started with the very last one that they did, which was a wheated straight bourbon, which came out the beginning of 2020. Mm-hmm. And then we did the flagship, which came out late 2021. Then we did the rye, which came out early 2021. This came out in 2020. This is just so it's the river-aged straight whiskey. So it is not a bourbon. It's not a rye. It's whiskey.
Yep.
So we all know it's MGP whiskey. This is a blend of their 95.5 rye and their high-rye bourbon. It is a minimum of 3 years old. I want to say the other ones were 4-ish years old. Or right around 4 years old. I don't think any of them said.
I don't think they said it on there.
Yeah, so, and I think they're all straight, so they had to be at least 4. Their claim to fame,
the barge,
is how they age their whiskeys. They don't put it in a building. They put it on a ship. And even better, the cool part is you can see that right there. That is the barge number on the top of the bottle. That wasn't included on the media samples, but it is on the bottle if you buy it. They take their barrels and age them on the Mississippi in Ballard County, Kentucky.
Yeah, it's kind of where the
Ohio's kind of like just coming in, right? So
you got the Illinois, Kentucky, and Missouri. That's like just south of there.
Right. So they age it. On a big old barge moored right there. I mean, it's been true in every whiskey we've tasted. There's an impact. Mm-hmm. The fluctuation of temperature is exaggerated because in the days, it's a big metal barge. Like, it gets hot inside of there. And in the nights, like, the water it's a big metal barge. The water pulls the heat out of there, so it gets colder.
How hot and humid it gets.
And then humidity.
I mean, that's an area where, we live in Nashville. The humidity's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Be on the water.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal in St. Louis. And then that's the closest bigger town. City.
Yeah. But they're on the water, so there's humidity. There's barometric pressure changes. There's
still a winter there, too.
The tide going up and down. There's the boat going left and right, or what, I don't know. I'm going to say left and right, but it's what, port and what, I don't know boating
port and
stuff.
Starboard.
Yeah, that. It's going those directions. So the whiskey's always in motion, and it's everything about the things that impact a whiskey are exaggerated.
Yep.
That's what they're known for. This is, again, their last one, 96 proof.
It's the last one we're doing, but this is the original.
This is, right. Yep. But they only have 4 in their line right now.
Right.
I'm sure they're
going to have more.
Going to experiment with age statements. I think they're going to experiment probably with some finishes at some point, toasted barrels, who knows. That smells young.
Ethanol for sure.
But it's a little sharp.
Yeah, it's very
sharp. A little sharp. Oh, and I forgot to mention Eric's favorite part. The name of the company is Brown Water Spirits. He loves to say, "Hey, we got to switch over to the brown water."
The palate and the finish is much smoother than
the nose.
Yep.
Good.
At least I think so.
No, it is. No, I would agree. It's not sharp by any means. The palate's not sharp, nearly as sharp as the nose is. There's no real burn.
None.
Even though 96 proof, that sharpness, that ethanol coming off on the nose.
I get some caramel and some orange. A little citrus.
Yeah, caramel, citrus, a touch of mint from the
rye.
Rye.
Yep.
But overall, not bad. That's pretty solid. The nose isn't spectacular, but the palate's pretty solid.
Can't judge a book by its cover, Kevin.
It sits for a little while. It doesn't just disappear.
The nose doesn't change though when you go back.
Yeah.
It just smells young.
It's a little young and sharp. It is. And I'm sure they'd admit that at 3 years old. That's the reason why the next three they released are at least 4 years old. So they know that. Everybody knows that. They wanted to get a bottle out on the shelves and establish their name, is I'm sure what it was.
All right. Second sip. Harsher than first.
The baking spice,
Way more rye.
rye notes.
Way more rye.
Yes, I would agree. But there's still a sweet.
The aftertaste turns to sweet, but like I get a raisin.
I get that. I'm trying to think. It's almost like
I get like
mandarin orange, like it's a flowery orange type.
The raisin for me though is like the smell of the inside of the sun-made.
The little tube.
The tube, or if you got the little
box.
The little box.
Okay.
That's the raisin I get. The smell of it. Not eating one. I'm going to go with, when you add water to this, it's going to get hotter. I think it's going to be more rye forward.
Well, let's see. Let's do that.
So far on the nose, I'm right.
Yeah, it's much more rye. A lot more rye. It's not as ethanol sharp. It's just really rye, like spice sharp. Wow, that orange really kicked up. That's about the only difference. I mean, the orange, I can taste the orange way more. The zestiness. I didn't get it. I didn't get a huge bite. That second taste when that rye hit on that second taste, a neat.
Oh, I get the woo. There's more of a bite. I can't breathe through my nose, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, of the four, this is absolutely my least favorite. That wheat one, the first one we did, the last one, yeah, bring them all down. They're all here. And then the blue guy. So this is the last one to come out, was the blue. It's their wheat bourbon. That's delicious. Mm-hmm. The flagship is really good. The rye was pretty good.
Yep.
I can't believe 1 year makes that big of a difference, but it really feels like it did.
I feel like this was rushed to market.
To get something out.
Get something out. I mean, I've said it before. I think I said it with all these. The price point to come out of the gate was too much.
Yeah,
I think this one was like $72.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah, it's MSRP right now is $80.
Yeah.
For these are $80, and that's either 90 or 100.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to pay $80, the only one I'd pay $80 for is that. That's the only one I'd pay $80.
I thought it was too much. And if you dropped it down to 60, in between 50 and 60, I'm good with that. I just when you're trying to make a name for yourself.
Well, we've done the rule of thumb.
No, I know though.
The rule of thumb is about $10 a year.
I know.
This is 3-year-old bourbon.
I know.
And not even bourbon and rye. So, and I know rye is a little bit more expensive. So even if you wanted to do $15 a year, that's $45. Mm-hmm. All right, extra costs for the ship and maybe $60.
Well,
80?
Yes, there was obviously some front end investment on that part.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, obviously they're following suit of like the Jeffersons,
they're using.
Which I don't blame
I want to
them
say
all.
gimmick, but it's not a gimmick because it really does make a difference in the whiskey. But they're using the difference.
But like Jefferson's does it, they do it, and then you have Blackened. But Blackened they just play 9
they play
Metallica songs
on repeat.
No, I totally understand the whole concept of
right.
This. There's constant agitation. It's touching every inch of that barrel. I totally get that. Hard time understanding why you want to charge that much when it's
out the gate.
This is your first. This is your first bottle.
Baseline bottle. That should be your baseline bottle, right?
So $50.
Okay.
And then ramp it up.
Right.
Or 40, 45.
That's kind of where I was going. It was 40-ish. Like that should be a $40. That should be a $40 bottle.
Yeah.
3-year-old blend. Mm-hmm. 40.
Throw in an extra $5 because of the barge.
Sure. Okay. 45. I can go.
There is the
agree
cost
with
of
that.
doing business. Like you have to absorb that.
Yeah.
I love the concept. I just think that
it makes a difference.
The price point should stair step.
Yeah. I don't understand their pricing, but whatever. That's not really for us to decide, right?
No. Well, it is for us to decide if we want to pay it.
That's correct. I would not spend $80 and buy that bottle. I would not spend $80 and buy that bottle. I would not spend, if that's I can't remember if it's 90 or 100. Either way, I'd spend 90 or 100. Maybe. That's the closest one. I might spend $80 and buy that bottle.
I've enjoyed all, from what I remember, I've
Absolutely.
enjoyed all of them. I just think the price points are just not.
Yeah, there's
where
not
they
a
need to
good
be.
value there. I'd be interested to understand why they decided to go that way and price at the prices they did. And maybe it is the overhead. Maybe when they get another barge and they can expand the amount, maybe they can start to figure out pricing or bring the pricing down. It's always easier to come down in price and go up in price. In theory, but not for bourbon right now. Bourbon can go up anytime.
In my world, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
But, you know, bourbon's gone up in price. Whiskey's gone up in price over the last handful of years. So maybe things can change.
But they're also coming into a market where everyone's looking for something new.
Yeah,
absolutely. And they're all, and like the bourbon market, whiskey market, it's hot right now.
It is.
So if it's something new, they've got a story with the barge. Mm-hmm. I mean, I see both sides of it there, but I think if this is your original bottle, probably should have been a little bit lower.
Yep.
And then you stair step as you've released the other. My opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Same for you out there.
That's what we're doing. We're just sharing our opinion.
You're going to agree or disagree.
Exactly. Of the four, not my favorite.
Again, I'm anxious to see what else they're going to do.
Yeah. They've been coming out with, again, I think that was 2020. Both of these came out in 2021. This came out in the beginning of 2022. So it's not like they haven't been around all that long. And they've been releasing at least something every couple of months, like 6 months or so.
Yeah, there should be more coming.
Something new is going to come out either later this year or early next year. So I'm interested to see what they do with it and how they price it.
I think pricing is going to be somewhere in the ballpark.
Yeah, it's probably. I don't see them coming out with here's our $25 cheap whiskey. I just why would you go? Why would you go and do that? So
I mean, if
they're
they
still
can,
in
if
business.
They can go to that price point, then there's other ones that do it.
Yeah.
You start there. It's been a fun lineup to do. I love the concept. Anxious to see what else is coming down the line.
Agree with everything you just said.
I have no idea what their distribution is.
They are on shelves in Kentucky, Tennessee, and Louisiana.
Okay.
And then you can buy it through Sealbox. I don't know how to say it. So some online distributor, and you buy it at like MSRP, so like $80 and $100. You know, like they don't do a huge markup by any means. And I think that's in 14 states.
Okay.
So they can get to 17 states.
Hopefully they'll continue to grow that, and then they'll continue to grow the lineup. All right. Well,
and hopefully scale helps pricing.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, we've done all four.
All four.
Anxious to see what else comes down the pipeline. Hope we get some more media samples. If we don't, I'm sure we'll
probably still grab a bottle.
We'll still grab a bottle. I like the story, and just anxious to see what comes out.
Yep.
So we'll see. Well, if you enjoyed it, as always, we encourage you to hit the like button at the bottom of the screen.
And if you're new to the channel, we just crossed 300. I'm quoting it now. We just crossed 300 like a couple episodes ago. So we'd love to continue to grow. Subscribe, and that would really help us out.
Thanks for watching.
See you on the next episode.
Cheers.